If Belize is still threatened when independence comes, we would see her right, which means, in fact, that troops would remain. Belize is part of the American sphere of interest. They themselves have said this is their own backyard.
Back at the Guatemalan border post, the cartoons say it. If Belize is given independence, Castro will take advantage of the power vacuum and the communists will move in.
The symbol of your independence, signed Elizabeth R.
12 actually working, 2 of them sitting down having a rest by the looks of things.
Counting the goats in.
Hi mate, go and try.
They come from along the Moho River to the school here?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. They come by boat, I think?
Yes.
In Central America, this dispute has gone on for 150 years. There was a time when Guatemala had the support of most of Latin America. Today, it's, as the last UN vote showed, she's very much on her own. 139 votes against her and none supporting her. So I think this makes a tremendous difference. She's also got her own internal problems. So there must be a desire, I would have thought, and that is certainly the impression I got at the last lot of talks, that they were anxious to find a basis for a settlement.
If there were no settlement, though, and independence still went ahead, British troops would presumably have to stay to guarantee the security of Belize.
That's yet to be worked out, but certainly we have said that if Belize is still threatened when independence comes, we would see her right, which means, in fact, that troops would remain, though, of course, not indefinitely. Really part of the American sphere of interest. They themselves have said this is their own backyard. So, therefore, it's not really Britain's responsibility any longer once Belize is independent. We would merely be here in order to honour an obligation to Belize, something that...
And to be of as much assistance
The weapon itself is pointing naturally. The left elbow is well in.
This ability can only be achieved with constant.
We feel that the British came here several centuries ago. I think that the only good thing about this happening is that they will go back.
Guatemala celebrated the 160th anniversary of her independence from Spain this week, and the timing was perfect. Only days before Britain grants independence to Belize, a reminder to the British that for 150 years Guatemala has claimed that Belize belongs to her and that she has a powerful army which she has several times threatened to use to back up her claim. Not that the British government was here to see for itself. The British consul was not able to honour the flag from the diplomatic stand, having been expelled from Guatemala less than a week before. Guatemala is in the throes of an election campaign, and the issue of Belize is the single dominant feature, unique in that all parties agree on it. Britain should not give Belize independence, but give Belize to Guatemala where she belongs. So says the government of President Lucas Garcia, safe here behind his bulletproof glass. So too says former Vice President Mario Sandoval, now running for president and making a less than dignified entrance at a campaign rally outside Guatemala City. Senor Sandoval cannot make his own speeches. His voice box was removed in treatment for throat cancer. His wife, of pure Spanish descent, a Guatemalan aristocrat, makes his speech for him. And again, Belize dominates. Senor Sandoval's views on Belize, given to me through his number 2, are no less forceful than the foreign minister's.
We have more than 100 years of arguing with the British, but we never had the strength to make our point of view in a good position.
We believe that through peace we can build what you have seen in Guatemala that we have been building. And in case that any invasion will have to come, we will have to invade the United Kingdom, but unfortunately it's too far away.
500 miles northeast of the capital lies the border between Guatemala and Belize. Belize is hot, humid swamp and forest, but beyond this inhospitable land lies the Atlantic, and therein lies Guatemala's desire to annex Belize. She wants an Atlantic coastline. She does have a historical claim. The Spanish said the British could stay in Belize, but Guatemala never did. Which is why today, despite the brave signs to the contrary, Guatemala claims there is no separate country of Belize. And here we are in Belize, having gone through all the formalities of crossing from one country into another. Yet, if you look at any Guatemalan map of the area, you'll see no border, because to the Guatemalans, Belize is simply a province of Guatemala. Belize, though, is economically stagnant. She would be as much a burden to Guatemala as she is to Britain. Which is why last March, Guatemala signed a compromise with Britain, giving Guatemala access to the Atlantic through an independent Belize. Now, Guatemala says Britain has reneged on that agreement, and all her old fears about Belize have come out again. Back at the Guatemalan border post, the cartoons say it: if Belize is given independence, Castro will take advantage of the power vacuum and the communists will move in. And the Guatemalans fear that more than anything. John Suchet, News at 10 in Guatemala. An elaborate fanfare welcomed the Prince and Princess to the National Assembly, set in the blazing heat of central Belize. That high starched collar can't have been comfortable. The setting was the capital of Belize, Belmopan, which in fact consists of little more than these few government buildings. The occasion was a symbolic act which marked the formal handover of power from Britain to Belize. But first, Prince Michael delivered a message from the Queen, who even after independence remains Queen of Belize.
I wish you all happiness and success for the future. May God bless you all. Signed, Elizabeth R. It is my very great privilege to hand to you these constitutional instruments, the symbol of your independence.
The Belize Army Band then made what must be one of the bravest tries ever at playing the British national anthem. The new Prime Minister leaves for the Commonwealth Heads of State meeting in Australia later this month, and he's already said he wants his country to join the United Nations. It's not just the attempt of a brand new country to behave like a more mature one, it's the genuine desire of a politically and geographically vulnerable country to do everything it can to protect itself. John Suchet, News at 1 in Belize. John Suchet, ITN in Belize. John Suchet, News at 10 in Belize.